It's Seattle Seahawks football time once again. Pete Gross with a greeting this afternoon from the banks of the Ohio, where the Seahawks invade Riverfront Stadium to take on the Cincinnati Bengals in an AFC playoff game. While the Seahawks are making their fourth playoff appearance in the last 6 years under head coach Chuck Knox, they come to the playoff party for the first time as champions of the AFC West with a 9-7 record.
Ain't no tomorrow! No time!
Don't block 22, Rufus or ML. Middle 3 left, let's come out smoking. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Sweet, watch out! Come on, dude! Run!
Esiason gives the ball to Wilson, running over left tackle. Touchdown, Cincinnati. Wilson, his second touchdown this afternoon.
Keep that hard count. Keep talking about the hard count. Just keep coming, baby. It's a heavyweight fight. We just get one break. Make something happen.
Esiason, a play fake, back to pass. Now they get to him. The ball is knocked away. It's loose. The Seahawks have it.
Come on, let's go! Let's go!
Seattle down 3 touchdowns, 21-0, 11:50 to go in the game. Craig with a snap, back to pass, throws a pass. It's caught at the 5-yard line. John Hill hurtling into the end zone. Touchdown, Seahawks. And the Seahawks get on the boards.
Let's go, baby! We're all right. 6-6, baby. 6-1. 6-1, baby. 6-1.
Craig has putbacks behind him. 2nd and a yard to go for the touchdown. Craig takes off into the end zone. Touchdown, Seahawks.
On New Year's Eve, a late rally by Seattle fell short against the Super Bowl-bound Cincinnati Bengals, and the Seahawks' 1988 season came to a close. Ending the year in the playoffs was no surprise for Seattle. How the team began 1988 was what made headlines. For the first time in franchise history, there was new ownership. California land developer Ken Behring and associate Ken Hoffman assumed control in September. And while they introduced themselves to new friends around the NFL, some old familiar faces directed action on the field. Head coach Chuck Knox and his experienced staff of assistants would be leading a roster of athletes that was also populated with recent arrivals.
The personality trait that makes this team different is that we have 15 new players on our football team, and it's unusual to have that many new players and still be in a competitive position.
In the season's opening week, Knox took the Seahawks into Mile High country for an important game with defending AFC champion Denver. And Seattle proceeded to beat the Broncos at home for the first time since 1984.
Craig will operate out of the shotgun. Long count by Craig, gets the snap, drops back to pass, looking right, starts to take off the run, in trouble. Bob's one in the end zone. Touchdown, Seahawks! Ray Butler.
A pair of additional scores from running back Kurt Warner earned the Seahawks the 21-14 victory. And in the home opener the following week, they walloped their Kingdome cousins from Kansas City, beating the Chiefs in Seattle for the 6th straight year. But the Seahawks suffered a double loss the following week in San Diego. The Chargers pulled off an upset and also sent Dave Craig to the injured reserve roles. Playoff hopes were now in question. For the next 8 weeks, Seattle would have to survive a brutal schedule without its starting quarterback.
Dave Craig is hurt right now. Anytime you take the general out of your offense, then it's going to affect your offense. But Kelly Stauffer has come in, and he has done an excellent job. He's poised under pressure. He's a steady quarterback, and for the most part, he's a leader. And our position has been this, is that whoever's in there at the quarterback position, we're going to have to rally around him and play some hard and tough football.
One of the toughest of the new Seahawks was rookie Brian Blades. The tenacious Blades, number 89, quickly became Stauffer's favorite target, helping Kelly set an NFL single-game record for most passing yards by a rookie. With the emergence of Blades and Stoffer, Seattle's passing game held steady during Dave Craig's absence.
I think that I'm able to do now the job that I need to do on the field. I'm far enough along where I can help this team win, and we're going to continue to do that.
Large in motion back toward the formation. Stoffer stumbles as he goes back to pass, goes down, gets up, and now cranks up, throws a deep bomb to Butler. He's got it! Touchdown Seahawks!
While Stoffer developed on offense, another rookie named Rufus Porter made plenty of impact on Seattle's special teams. The previously unheralded Porter went from obscure free agent to Pro Bowl selection, spearheading the NFL's best punt covering unit. Seattle finished in the NFL's top 5 in 4 special teams categories, and they tied a team record by blocking 4 field goals.
Waiting for the snap. It's down. Lansford with a barefooted kick. It's blocked. It's taken at the 40-yard line and returned up the field. And Vernon Dean's got it. He's going to have a touchdown.
The block by Brian Bosworth. So a little bit of pride for the special team.
Taking advantage of opportunities was also a characteristic of Seattle's aggressive defense. The defensive line was anchored by veteran nose tackles Joe Nash and Ken Clark. Along with ends Jeff Bryant, Jacob Green, and Alonzo Mitz, these quick and compact rushmen were sometimes out-muscled but never out-hustled.
We played good defense at times, and then we hadn't played that well at other times. But I think the thing is just going out there playing the game and winning the individual battles. When anybody's character, pride is tested, then they come back. If they're a man, they come back. And certainly I am a man, and I just go out and play the way I always have.
For Jacob, 1988 was business as usual. He led the team in sacks and fumble recoveries, blocked a field goal, and scored the 4th touchdown of his career. Right now, only 2 active NFL players have more career quarterback sacks than Jacob Green. While Green started every game, injuries cut down the playing time of second-year linebacker Brian Bosworth. Bosworth was leading the team in tackles when shoulder problems ended his season. Veterans M.L. Johnson and Bruce Schultz filled the void, along with newcomer Darren Como, number 53, and second-year player David Wyman, number 92. Besides Wyman, only one other linebacker started every game. Through the course of the season, number 57, Tony Woods, showed the flashes of brilliance that had made him Seattle's #1 pick the year before.
I think I have great quickness for my size, and I'm kind of like a smart player. I think I like to study film and, examine the guy I'm playing over, and I feel like I'm able to play linebacker where I have to drop off in coverage, but on third down nickel situations, I have the ability and the strength to rush the pass and put a lot of pressure on him.
Tony's quick pursuit placed him second on the team in quarterback sacks, and his knack for making big plays complemented perfectly the ball-hawking skills of the Seattle secondary. With the sudden retirement of Seahawk legend Kenny Easley, Number 21, Paul Moyer, became the senior member of the defensive backfield. He was both an inspirational leader and the team's top pass interceptor. Moyer was joined by leading tackler Eugene Robinson and corners Terry Taylor, Patrick Hunter, and Melvin Jenkins, pass defenders who helped make Seattle the AFC's number 2 team in turnovers. Sometimes the defense struggled, but in the crunch, they did their job. Never was the unit more effective than in a critical Week 6 game against playoff-bound Cleveland in hostile Municipal Stadium.
Okay, we got to turn right. We can close the coffin on these suckers right now, okay? Get your man. That's all we got to do. Do your job. On 3. 1, 2, 3, go!
Right from the start, the Seahawks were combative, unkempt, and unruly.
Hey, how can Bosworth play with his jersey like that? Hey, how can Bosworth play with his jersey cut off like that? Look at it. It's ragged.
25-yard effort. Pagel puts it down. Matt Barr's field goal try is blocked. Taken by Moyer. Moyer starts running up the left side of the ball. Gets all the way to the 40. Gets away. He might go all the way for a touchdown. Moyer down the left side. Finally tripped up on the 20-yard line.
A Kurt Warner touchdown and 3 Norm Johnson field goals gave the Seahawks the lead, a lead the defense would protect to the end. When Cleveland mounted a last-ditch comeback, Seattle's defenders came up with the timeliest of their 5-game turnovers.
Come on, D. Big play, big play.
Seahawks leaving in jeopardy now. Back to pass Strock, a pump fake. Now he's going deep toward the end zone. It is going to be picked off by Seattle. Melvin Jenkins comes up with it.
On one of the league's most historic playing fields, Seattle beat a playoff team in a style reminiscent of an earlier era.
Like a 1947 game I saw here between Navy and Notre Dame. We used to play here every year at Municipal Stadium.
Real throwback raw football.
It was rough and tough football, and any question about that on both sides, see. But it was a good game, and I liked the way it went.
By late autumn, it was clear that the champion of the AFC West would not so much be a winner, but a survivor. And the Seahawks possessed the kind of players who could endure best over the long haul.
It's a mature club. We have younger players. We have rookies, first, second, third-year players. But as a whole, we are a club that has been together for a while, one that has been through a lot. There's no one individual that we need to look at all the time to say, lead us. I think we all pretty much know what it takes because we've all been there.
Millard was part of an experienced defensive line that included 8-year guard Edwin Bailey, 11-year center Blair Bush, 11-year tackle Mike Wilson, and 3rd-year pro Ron Mattis. On the outside was tight end Mike Tice, number 86, who posted a career-high total in pass receptions. And then there was the last original Seahawk, Steve Largent. Largent's 1988 season opened with a nasty blow from Denver's Mike Harden. But Steve bided his time, and 14 weeks later, Largent got even.
It's picked off by Harden in the end zone. 2 yards deep, will run it out. Takes it up to the 10, 15, out to the 20. He's on his feet, and boy, Largent, the ball comes loose. The Seahawks may get it back.
I mean, Largent just unloaded on Mike Harden. Holy smoke, what a play.
Steve will want to put that over his mantle, right on the fireplace.
That's better than any touchdown catch he's ever made, right there.
Along with the season's best hit, Steve Largent also became the NFL's all-time leader in receiving yardage. He continued to add to his record totals for career catches and extended his consecutive game receiving streak to 167. Best of all, his off-field charitable efforts earned Steve Largent the 1988 NFL Man of the Year award. But for the first time in team history, someone other than Largent was the Seahawks' leading receiver. His name was John L. Williams. It's hard to imagine a better all-around back in pro football. Always a punishing blocker, John L. is now the rarest of commodities, a fullback with both incredible power and breakaway speed.
This year, everything is beginning to come into place. I'm beginning to go out there and being able to receive the ball and being able to get a chance to run the ball, and I feel real free to go out and do whatever I can do and try to do it to the best of my ability.
With nearly 900 rushing yards and the most catches ever by a Seahawk running back, Williams was instrumental during Seattle's late-season playoff drive. It may have been one remarkable play in a key game with the Oilers that convinced the Seahawks they could be champions.
Gibbs on a handoff to John L. Breaks to the right at the 40. He's got open room. 35, 30. John L. breaking away. He's at the 10, the 5. Touchdown Seahawks. John L. Williams.
John L's run tied the game at 24. And then now healthy quarterback Dave Craig, making his first start in 2 months, engineered the 2-minute drill to perfection en route to the winning score in the most pivotal game of the year.
This to win the ball game for the Seahawks. High snap, it's down. Johnson's kick, it's long enough. Good! Johnson kicks it through for 46 yards out. And the time runs out. Ball game over.
With Craig's return, Christmas came early to King County. In the final 6 weeks, Craig fired 15 touchdowns, won 4 games, and finished behind only the Bengals' Boomer Esiason in conference passing.
Craig out of the shotgun with a snap back. The pass fires in the end zone. It is caught. Touchdown Seahawks. Gansey's got it.
That is a great drive by Dave Craig.
His 5 touchdown passes during a Monday night game shot down the Raiders. 2 weeks later, in another primetime affair with Denver, the Pro Bowl-bound Craig led the Seahawks to a staggering 6 touchdowns on their first 6 possessions.
Fourth down situation as Craig gets the snap, drops back, throws a pass in the end zone. Touchdown Seahawks! Spagnola grabs
it! 4 scores came from Kurt Warner in a record-tying performance. On his way to the 4th 1,000-yard season of his career, Warner typified the determination of a team that wanted more than ever to become a champion.
He has a great attitude for running back. He wants the ball. He feels anytime he puts his hand on the ball, he can take it the distance, you know, and that pumps up the offensive line because we know how bad he wants to go, you know, and then that makes us go out and work that much harder to put him in open.
After 5 NFL seasons, Warner is a fixture among football's running elite.
I would like to say that I'm one of the better running backs in the NFL. And at moments, I would say that I am the best running back in the NFL. But it's a short-lived or short-term type thing. One week you have it, one week you don't. I think the most important thing is to be consistent. I try to be as good as I can every week. I try to go out and do the job as best I can, and hopefully when it's all said and done, I'll be remembered as someone who went out and played the game hard.
Like Kurt Warner on the run, the Seattle Seahawks were building up a head of steam with a fixed stare on their ultimate destination, the first division championship in franchise history. But to earn the title, the Seahawks would have to win the season's final game on the road against their most bitter rivals.
Pete Rose speaking from the Coliseum in Los Angeles, California, where in the final week of the '88 regular season, it all comes down to an AFC Western Division championship and a trip to the playoffs for today's winner, the Seattle Seahawks or the Los Angeles Raiders. Craig operating out of the shotgun, back to pass. Raiders come with 4. Craig with time goes deep down the left side, large and wide open, has it, touchdown Seahawks! Motion through the formation, left to right by Butler. Craig gets the snap, back to pass, fires one over the middle, caught at the 10, the 5, Blaze breaks into the end zone, touchdown Seahawks!
Yeah! Yeah, yeah, yeah! Keep going, we're not done yet!
Here's Schrader on first down, back to pass, straightens up, he's going to go with the deep bomb. I mean, he really hangs it up down to the 2, it's caught, it's a touchdown for the Raiders! This one's headed toward the middle of the field. Bobby Joe Edmonds at the 10 has it, takes off straight up the middle, breaks up into the 35-yard line, the 40, could be on his way, he's down the right sideline, he's being pursued from behind, and he finally gets dropped at the 25-yard line. Craig's back to pass again, home run ball goes in the end zone with a touchdown Seahawks, the Blaze! What's this thing about Chuck Knox being conservative, somebody once said?
Ground what?
Yeah.
Holy smoke.
Keep it going! We're gonna win this thing, baby. Do it! Do it! Let's go play some defense.
Schrader with a snap, back to pass. Seahawks rush forward. Now they get to him. Jacob Green's got him. Schrader gets away. Now Woods is after him. Schrader throws upfield, picked off at the 35. Down the field, Terry Taylor to the 25. Out of bounds inside the Raider 25-yard line.
No, we ain't gonna let up, Jake. No way. Let him run over, and then we come back with the week, okay? Come on, and we're gonna hit one, and it's gonna be a great play for you. Come on, let's keep going.
With Malcolm Taylor playing on the inside, Craig fakes the pitch back, drops back to pass, throws a little medium screen that's caught at the 30-yard line. 35, John L. breaks upfield, eludes one man, and breaks into the open. It could be on his way for a touchdown. Pursuit from behind at the 5. Touchdown, Seahawks!
I told you that's gonna be a big play. Malcolm Taylor was chasing you down, bud.
Down to 24 seconds to play in the game. Seahawks leading 43-37.
Come on now!
Do you go for the deep shot, the home run?
We'll find out here in about a second. As Schrader's waiting, gets the snap out of the shotgun. Looking, he's just going to crank up, hang it way up in the air into the end zone. Everybody up, and it's batted out of the end zone by a Seahawk defender. And that Seahawk sideline across the way is finally figuring out that an AFC Western Division title is a real thing, not just a dream. It's real, folks, and they're going to bring it back to Seattle tonight.
High fives all over the place. All over the place. High fives all over the place. That's right. That's right. That was a hell of a job. I'm going to tell you that right now. Hey, 45 battlers won it. Everybody in there contributed. It's a heck of a win for us. We need to get my man up here right now, Boogie.